We are at the end of week 1 of training for the Upper Thames Audax. This is a 209km cycling event on the 4th of November, which I am doing to raise money for the amazing charity The New Normal. They offer free peer-to-peer mental health and grief support. They are a fantastic cause, and I'll leave links in the description for you to find out more about the charity and also the Just Giving page. This week was T-14 and the first proper week of Audax training. Until now, the furthest I've ever ridden is 120 kilometers, so 209 kilometers feels both a bit scary and quite achievable over the next 14 weeks. At the end of each week, I'm going to make a video sharing what I have learned. So if you're already training for a long distance event, you don't need to make the mistakes that I do, and we can pay forward the good stuff that is really working. So let's talk about week 1. When I was writing my notes for this video, I wrote 3 things, and they read exactly this. Number 1, cycling community is awesome. Number 2, are the numbers lying? Number 3, fun is the answer. Let me explain. Firstly, the cycling community is awesome. When we first moved out of London, the thing that I missed the most was the cycling community. I'm fortunate to be part of an amazing club called Newbury Velo, and I love riding with them, and I rode with them even when I lived in London. However, I've been feeling like there's a lack of cycling community in the countryside in general. I'm struggling to put my finger on exactly what it is, but there aren't things like the Tuesday Night Don or Herne Hill Velodrome or Richmond Park laps. There just isn't stuff like that out in the countryside, and I'm not going to lie, for all that cycling in the country is great, I have been missing it. However, 2 out of 4 rides this week, I have met someone new whilst out on the ride, ridden with them, and we've exchanged local cycling intel, had a laugh about bikes, and just had a really great time. And I suppose what I'm realising is that maybe there is more cycling community out here in the countryside than I'd first realised. I filmed this whole bit, and you never once looked at the camera. Show off on your pretty face. No, it's not happening. Number 2, are the numbers lying? This is something I've been thinking about towards the end of this week's training. Because let's have a look at the scores on the doors. So the total distance ridden for the week is 202.2 kilometers with 1,274 meters of elevation gain. This was done in 4 rides. Monday, 34.2k, Wednesday 50.3k, Saturday 61.5k, Sunday 56.1k, and on Thursday I did a 5km run. At face value, 202 kilometers for the first week of Audax training looks okay, but I actually think it's an underestimation of how much is needed to ultimately get across the line. Because I'm doing this for charity, I do feel like there's an added pressure to actually finish. And pressure is fine, pressure is good, but I also think that my very unstructured, I'll just ride loads isn't quite going to be enough. So for next week, I'm going to focus on getting those longer rides up a little bit to more like 65 to 70 kilometers. And I think the general structure of shorter but slightly faster rides during the working week with longer but slower rides at the weekend and pushing up the distance at the weekend is probably a better balance. I'm also going to think about training more holistically, because it's not going to be enough just to be reasonably fit for this event. You've got to be mentally resilient to get through the really tough parts. You've got to know your nutrition plan and your kit and things like that. And I'd also, maybe naively, underestimated how they need to also be part of your training, and they are just as important as the actual rides you go on. So that's a task for next week, but I also realised that in order to get the training in, there has to be one very important component. It has to be fun. This is the final reflection of the week. We quite finished? Yeah, quite finished tinkling your bell. No, not yet. Okay. When the going gets tough, you have to have something to push you through. Of course, the reason why is a big motivator. Whenever you do an event for charity, it always raises the bar, and the pressure to finish is a strong motivator. But the reality is that when the going gets really tough, that alone might not be enough. The thing that will be is making it fun. Whether it's pushing through a tough patch in the ride or something to actually get you out in the first place, then I think making it fun is the answer. It's partially why I'm starting a new series called Pedal and Pastries, where I ride out to various different cafes and have a coffee and pastry, review it, and then ride home again. When I do one of those videos, I know that I've got something to look forward to, something to keep me going on the way to the cafe, and then something to think about on the way back again. So if you've got a cafe in London or the Southwest that you want me to cycle to and review, please drop some suggestions in the comments. I've already filmed the first one, and that'll be coming out very soon, so stay tuned for that. So yeah, the reflection this week is that to get you through the really tough bits, the only thing that will ultimately win is having something fun in there. So whilst I'm going to put more structure into the training, into the preparation, etc., I will always make sure that it's never missing the key ingredient: being fun. If you've ridden an Audax and you have any training advice, please leave it in the comments. I'm learning a lot, but I'm very much a beginner in the Audax space, so any advice is gratefully received. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Maybe it's inspired you to get out on a bike. If you have found it useful, then please hit the like button, subscribe for more content like this, hit the notification bell so you don't miss out, and I will see you out on the road.